Hello everyone. This is SIG scheduling meeting. For like Asia Europe region. We yes, so we're recording the meeting as usual. So please behave nice as usual. And then yes, let's start. So we only have one topic from Dominic, which is next plan. I mean the plan for the next release cycle. Dominic, you want to start?
Yes, I think so. You can start presenting, maybe that would be
Oh, okay.
a little bit bigger.
Oh,
It's actually no.
share
I
your
mean,
screen or?
you can press the presentation button or something.
Oh, okay. All right. Yes. Is it better now?
I think so. Yes, it looks better. Yeah. Um, so you're thinking like what should be the reasonable scope for the next release? So in the previous release, we introduced workload API, the basic, I would say basic version of the API, and also gang scheduling implementation, which we also can call like the basic one, which does not have any advanced workload scheduling capability and it was mainly focused on separation of the scheduling phase for a gang from the actuation phase, so that we can be sure that we start binding when the whole gang has its assignment. So the next release cycle might be a little bit challenging for everyone because the like even in the previous one we were like heavy loaded with reviews and like following on what's going on. Uh, so that was hard, and it seems like the next release may be only worse because we have much more items on our plate. Uh, so that would
Yeah,
be
right.
yeah.
I think
That would,
like Project did like we should start, keep reviews as soon as possible. It means we should start like creating kept PL as soon as possible, so that everyone can have a, you know, more bandwidth when uh, we are starting actual release cycle. So that would be
mm,
like best strategy here.
Yeah, realistically, like if we open all those caps in mid-January, there is like zero probability that they will all
Yeah,
happen.
right.
yeah, some
We
of
should
those
start
topics are not
early.
completely fresh, so some of them we've been discussing, but yeah, some of them are completely new and I would say also challenging.
Yeah, and also we're gonna get DLA caps as well, and they're, always kind of like just before the deadline. So we should, keep some of our bandwidth for
Yeah,
incoming DLA ones.
right. So the idea is here is to um, first of all, we should try to make the workload API promoting to beta. That means that we need to focus on the elements that were listed as beta blockers. And one of them is delayed preemption. And the second is workload scheduling phase.
Yeah.
Uh, so delayed preemption, it's probably more obvious point because like what we currently do, we run preemption during the scheduling phase. And obviously, when we have wait on permit, which separates scheduling from binding, we don't want to preempt during scheduling yet. We just want to know what we want to preempt, and in the binding phase, we can run the actual preemption. So without that, the gank scheduling is a little bit would be a little bit problematic. Whenever the gank is rejected, we end up with prematurely preempted elements.
Yeah, right. I mean, like, I think there's two big items for beta requirement. One is, as you said, preemption, because we might make unnecessary preemptions, which we should avoid if we are promoting to beta. And the other one is the workload scheduling phase, because otherwise we have the problem that um, so like partial like young members reserving places, and many young members reserving places and deadlock for each other. So those
Yeah.
two are like big problems for me too. I mean, big brokers for beta. So I think we should. So this is, I guess, P0. Oh, okay, I don't have that
So I
much.
think I think
I
it's
can
it's even like the second and third items are effectively blockers for the first one, right? So
Yeah, right. So like the first one is P0, and to resolve the first one, we have to
yeah.
uh like prioritize preemption and backward scheduling phase.
So the delayed preemptions, like I already described, well, there are some open questions there, but like I already described in like the workload aware preemption cap in my. I'm happy to move it to like any other place or do whatever like with this like
Oh,
workload aware preemption. But
I
it's
actually haven't. Oh, yes, sorry. Continue.
no, I just wanted to mention that this beat is at least like started like in the cap.
Mm-hmm.
So like when you will have a chance, like please take a we can always move it like to the like original like workload API cap or wherever else, but like it's already at least like the first draft is started for that.
Yeah, so I haven't checked your like workload aware preemption cap, but does it doesn't it include delayed preemption, or it's completely a separate one?
So I like there are effectively I put both things. I put like
Okay, okay.
the workload aware preemption, and I put like a section about delayed preemption into it
Mm-hmm.
too. But like if we decide to move the delayed preemption to any other place, like I'm happy to like
Okay.
move it and move it elsewhere or whatever. So
Well, yeah. I mean, we can figure out the best place after that.
yep.
After starting reviews. I mean, the point is starting review itself as soon as
Yeah,
possible. So
yeah,
yeah,
it's effectively that's what I wanted to like. Let's start the discussion and we'll figure it out like later where to put it and or how to
yeah,
adjust it.
agree.
right,
Yeah,
Roman.
the
Do you
people Roman.
Yeah, hi guys. I wanted to ask if the workload API is going to include the additional hierarchy levels like rank groups and all those equivalence groups, or it will only remain as a single hierarchy of pod groups?
Wojtek, do you
Dominic, you
want to
wanna
answer
answer?
or?
I can, yes. So for now we are like for beta we want to promote what we have now to beta like effects, which is effectively like just the pod group itself. The all the like other things that were mentioned in the doc, like we want them eventually to happen, but it's not like the like I think we have so many other things that we need those like building blocks and so on, and like I don't think we will be effectively realistically be able to make this happen in 136.
Yeah, agree. I mean, I think we should promote what we have, and then I think those other stuff later as another separated caps or whatever like proposals so that we can incrementally adding new features on top of existing ones.
Yeah, I think we like basically the way at least I think about it is that we will be like bundling the extensions to the API itself with a specific features. Like at some point we will need to do like ordering of the like scheduling based of all like ranks of the pods and so on. And like I think those will be the places where we will be effectively extending. So bundling them with actual like user-oriented features, not extending the API now for the sake of having it like full, right? So
Yeah,
yes,
of
it
course.
will happen, but not now.
Okay. Okay, makes a lot of sense. Just trying to be on the same page with you,
Mhm.
and maybe I'll use also the opportunity to ask you guys to send whatever docs you have somewhere, like the caps project that you mentioned, maybe in SIG scheduling or somewhere. I'll be
So
happy to
it's
review
already
and
opened at the PR, but I'm happy to link it here too.
Right.
yeah.
I think
Okay.
I will pay attention to share as soon as possible anything that we have. So I hope we will be able to discuss all those elements like in the documents.
Yeah.
Maybe one comment before we uh, mm, about workload API. So my comment was that there will be no new policies. It doesn't mean that the workload API itself may not be adjusted, because we had a discussion with Kensei in the last review, and this discussion is not closed. So it's possible that we will make some changes there, but basically we are not going to introduce new hierarchy. Rather, we will try to use whatever we already have. I will talk about this in workload scheduling phase, more about that. Radostin?
Yes, I just want to follow up on the workload aware preemption. Essentially, we with Victoria we are working on kind of something similar, but at the same time, it's not. My understanding is that the cap that is currently open is mainly about the essentially designing the APIs for scheduling, the workload aware preemption scheduling. And what we are trying to do is essentially implement preemption with checkpointing. So instead of terminating a pod, we create a checkpoint, and then we use this checkpoint to essentially resume from where the workload has been essentially stopped. And essentially, we have been investigating this, and my understanding is that we would need something like a separate queue for checkpoints, and then a different way that essentially different mechanism for handling the checkpointing mechanism. And essentially, I just want to check. Maybe it would be a good idea to create a separate pull request for this cap, essentially separate cap discussing how we can handle checkpoints with scheduling.
Is it a part of the working group?
Yes,
The
it's
effort?
kind of what we are trying to do in the working group.
Okay.
Which working group is it?
It's a new working group called Checkpoint Restore.
Yeah, I think that I definitely think we should include it at some point. I think that like I'm a little bit reluctant to like putting too much scope from the very beginning, because like you effectively like as you mentioned, like the checkpoint is like, or checkpointing is tightly coupled, but like it requires everything that I'm proposing and additional stuff. So like
Yeah,
the more we
I,
extend it, the lower chances are we were effectively like do something. So um I think it would be super helpful if you can look into it and see. And I thought a little bit about that too, but like the more like thoughts we have about it, like to ensure that we will be able to extend it later to what you will need. I think it will be possible, but um and having like some draft like cap or whatever like
yeah,
for that is definitely super helpful, but I'm not sure we should target that for 136.
Yeah, it's not for it's not for 136. It's more like something
Okay.
we're currently working on.
Yeah, absolutely. That I 100% agree. Yeah.
Yeah, Vicky,
Yeah. So full agreement with what Wojtek said. If it's not for 136, then definitely yes. And I think we want to discuss that as soon as possible to make sure that we are like doing the right thing. We are going to the right direction. But I don't suspect we could do something wrong in this, because it seems like making another step to make the preemption behave more nicely.
Yeah, in my mind, or the way how I think about it is that it will be additive, but yeah, we should probably discuss that too. Yeah, so.
Yeah,
I mean, we should what we should do now is collecting the use cases, including viewers, like checkpointing and stuff. But we should now, like, we just, list it and make sure everything can be extended later for those use cases. That's my understanding.
Yep.
right. In my mind, it's also important to be able to reschedule workloads to another depraise. This is also something that will be a prerequisite for checkpointing, because if you checkpoint, you expect that the checkpoint will be sooner or later read again. And this is quite, it's also a bigger element we haven't discussed and don't have cap yet. But it would be another prerequisite for checkpointing, I think.
By the way, who is owning the checkpointing working group?
Uh,
Signode?
myself, Victoria, and Adrian and Peter from Signode.
Signode, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
There is it has been already created. You can see it in the Kubernetes community repository.
Okay.
Vicky.
Yeah, hi. So the purpose of this was, as you said, can say rather just to inform you that we are also working on the same thing and to just think about it in like the design or something like that. So I checked this workload aware preemption, and I see that there are some thoughts about preemption cost and about like user being able to specify the priority of the preemption. And the workload priority for scheduling is not the same for the preemption priority, which makes sense in this like advanced scheduling mechanism. And it's just something where we maybe could only flag for the scheduler or for the preemption plugin that, hey, this might be checkpointable workload and it could influence the priority because it can preserve the progress of the workload, which is directly related to the cost of the preemption or like cost
Yes,
of
I
the
think
doing. So just like to think about it, if you are already designing the specs. And there is one more thing I wanted to ask. So I know that in this node lifecycle group, they're discussing eviction requests. And I thought that perhaps in the future they will be maybe also used for any pod deletion mechanism. And I thought that they might be used for the preemption too. I don't know, have you like discussed that, or is this something that's not really useful? Because they are also designing like a big spec for the eviction request, which could uh, define many things too. So how do these things relate with this preemption and with the eviction request?
Yeah, we spent a bunch of time with them during KubeCon discussing that, and I think those are attacking the same problem or those are attacking like the same wider problem from like two sides. Like the cap that I opened is focused on like how you as a user you approach the preemption. What the eviction API is approaching is effectively what are the mechanics of like actually deleting the pod and so on. And so those are like pretty complementary to each other. So I think that we are in touch with them, definitely. It seems that there's no collision here, but like if like you have any thoughts or like concerns or whatever, like I'm happy to chat about those. But
Yeah,
we are basically
yeah.
in touch with them here.
I actually don't have any concerns. I was rather intrigued because currently I know that the preemption just like simply deletes the pod and that's it.
No, it's
Like,
also I think it's also using the evict API. It's just like the current evict API is fairly simple, and they are like making it much more sophisticated and feature wise. So I think it conceptually, like I would say that those proposals make sense, like even independently. Like it makes sense to have the eviction API without workload level preemption. It makes sense to have the opposite. So eviction API without workload level preemption, but like together they will effectively like combine the effect of each other or like multiply the effect of each other.
okay, makes.
And there are like, for what it's worth, there are also like the first version of eviction API they are planning is focused on individual pods. We were also discussing like the next step of that where we will be able to like we'll have like eviction API at the like whole workload level or pod group level. This is in like relatively early thoughts, but it's something that we were also like discussing a little bit.
Okay, thanks.
By the way, I think we don't use eviction API in preemption.
No, I thought okay.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I think we are using deletion API.
regular deletion.
Actually, yeah, but we do. If I remember correctly, we do check PDB,
PDBs, yeah.
yeah, before preempting, but we do not use the eviction API. We are just deleting them.
Okay, yeah, that's right, because like we
Yeah.
are checking the PDB, but if we want to ignore that because there's no other way, then we need to somehow like work around it. So yeah,
Yeah, I guess something like that.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually have one question about Lockwood API myself. Like when we're promoting to beta, do we have to promote the API also to beta? Or do we I mean there's two things. Like one is feature get and the other one is API, right? And then if we say promoting to beta, do we have to promote both of them to beta, or do we, I don't know, what is the
I think we
proper way
generally
to do it?
I think we are
Sorry.
generally sorry.
Mhm.
Yes, we are generally trying to match the API or the like stability of API with the stability of the feature. Like so yes, I think
Okay.
in this case we want to have we want to promote both the API and
All right, gotcha.
the feature itself. Yeah.
Right, so probably we can move on. And as you notice, there is also in workload API extension with the status that would be independent from the promotion to beta, because it will be effectively status in alpha. But it seems like having status as soon as possible is also important to make it to be able to promote it to beta also in some nearest future. And
so
by status,
sorry. All right, you wanted to say sorry, Dominique.
yeah.
So it means API would be going to beta, but the status field would be alpha, right? Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
So the status it seems like a simple extension, but actually we will have to touch several different problems because it's
Oops.
related it's tightly related to how we approach like rescheduling, how we inform the workloads phase that it has to schedule workload once again. We need to remember that scheduling a workload might be a long-lasting process. It's might be not as fast as scheduling single pod, so we may not be able to afford rescheduling workload like every time we think it may change. So this is a subject for discussion. I'm not saying like anything how we gonna do that because I don't have a clear picture yet. I'm just saying that extending workload with a status might not be just a very simple simple operation. I let you present because last time I was presenting these slides, I was also touching this and moving to another slide, but from what I see, you are doing the same thing. Okay, so workload scheduling phase. This is we more or less know what we need to do here, but assuming that we are not changing the workload API itself, we believe we still need to be able to like separate different pods and categorize them. So for instance, if we can detect the pod subgroups that have the same signature, then we could use the opportunistic batching for scheduling it more effectively. By more effectively, I mean that since we are doing the workload scheduling in one phase, and we know that some subgroup of pods is equivalent, then we are able to schedule them without interleaving with other type of pods. So in effect, we can use opportunistic batching for the whole group. So we will make sure that everything finishes within half a second, like or whatever time we have deadline we have for a cache. Actually, deadline for a cache in single phase scheduling may be even not important. But definitely we may do it more effectively. We may get rid of some of the restrictions that opportunistic batching brings. Yeah, and since we don't have a separate point, let me add here that in opportunistic batching itself, we can, we have another one, extend opportunistic batching. There are several separate independent tasks that we can do and have someone working independently, for instance, on pre-computing signature or supporting the array or dealing with services. So that's a good thing. But overall, what we hope to achieve is to have workload scheduling combined with opportunistic batching benefits. So everything together should work more smoothly. Any questions to those?
Sounds good to me.
If not, then another point is topology-aware scheduling alpha. And this is the beginning of the essence of the workload-aware scheduling. So we definitely our ambition is to make the workload scheduling capable to consider topology, consider multi-node array, and do everything optimally and so on, and fast at the same time. But at the same time, we cannot do everything from the very beginning. we need to take some smaller steps to make it feasible to do something in 136. So I guess we will work in two modes. One mode is thinking how the algorithm should look like eventually, but also what can we do in 136 to make a progress. Sorry. Heba, you have a question.
I have a question related to topology-aware scheduling. I think this depends on the topology API. So we are expecting the topology APIs to be ready, or this is like two separate topics?
So I think they are definitely related, but at least the most recent thinking is that maybe the API that scheduler need to consider, maybe that would be a plugin API. So the plugins might expose us information about topology, maybe not directly, but as embedded into the algorithm and the API. It's probably too early to talk about that. I see several comments being raised. Yeah,
I just wanted to.
we can do it in many different ways.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that, like, basically the other way, which may not be optimal long term, but like maybe a way to deliver something or like somehow like cut the scope and so on, would be to say that you can define like your topology requirements via DRA, and we focus on DRA, and that may not be like optimal user experience and so on, but this will allow us to also like experiment with the actual implementation and first version of algorithm and stuff like that. So I don't think we have like something super concrete at this point, but like there might be ways of decoupling those at least a little bit for the beginning to like allow some like initial progress here.
So we're
So
thinking, thinking to have topology like an extension point, maybe?
Not directly, but indirectly.
Okay. Okay. So, yeah. Let's talk about this. And yeah.
What I mean, it doesn't mean that scheduling algorithm needs to know that this is the topology. It may know that that it's a separate thing. So look at it as like some kind of, sure, maybe we can call it topology domain or iterating over some exclusive options that scheduler might become aware of and might be able to iterate over them. I am hand waving right now, but it doesn't have to, necessarily know that this is the topology. It does not necessarily have to build a tree on its own. Maybe that would be part of plugins. Maybe it will be independent from plugins. Yeah, too early to judge, I think. But the discussion will be super interesting, and we hope to hold it during those meetings. Any other comment or question? No. Yes, so this is what I was like going to say, that topology-aware scheduling is the first step of something bigger. So we both need to have in mind the overall goal and how things might look in the future, but also how to do something and handle the basic network topology as soon as possible. Well, I think we need to wait for some design proposals. There are already several from Eric, from John, I think some of them are public, but not necessarily about the scheduling algorithm. More about the overall problem or the API. I think we need to combine those everything into some proposal. So workload aware preemption. We talked about that briefly. I'm not sure if there's anything to follow on, Wojtek.
I'm not sure. Like, I think that like I opened the cap, so like anyone who is interested, like I think I would recommend looking into that and sharing like thoughts and concerns. It's there are still a bunch of open questions there, but I think that it's still like in reasonable, or the open questions have some like recommendations from me, which like getting feedback on from you would be super helpful.
I think we can bring it to the agenda of the next meeting.
Sure. Yeah, I'm happy to.
Might be the first topic.
Yeah, that would be nice. Then I'll take a look by that meeting for sure, so
Sure.
that we can discuss. Yeah.
Sure, I'm happy to present. I think it's in 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, we have unfortunately the Asia and North America. So for Kansai, North America time slot is not.
Yeah, it's like 3 a.m. or something for me, so that's kind of
Yeah, I
impossible.
unfortunately also have to skip the next North America one. So what we probably
Let's
mean
present like in 2
is
weeks on this.
in 2 weeks on the Asia. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Do we? Okay. Rohan.
Hi. Sorry, first time on this meeting. I work with Roman and Ron, so I'm also from NVIDIA. On the topology aware and hierarchical gang scheduling, is there a design doc out for them that I can like comment on or like read, or is that not public yet?
There are some documents that Dominique mentioned, like from John Belamarik, from Eric, but those aren't yet like official proposals or anything. Those are like some like initial thoughts, and I don't think we have like any agreement. So it would be useful for you to look at them, but let's not treat them as like anything like official at this point.
Yeah. So the short answer is that there is no one even design the publicly available. So I think everything is still.
It's not even public, like, or at least like from our side, like we don't have anything concrete yet, concrete enough here internally either. So it's like.
I see.
So we definitely have a bunch of ideas. Like everyone is free to come up with some ideas. We should be able to combine all of them. Yeah, Roman.
Yeah, and I think. Sorry.
Yeah, just maybe wanted to use this opportunity and to join Rowan and ask you guys for those. Like for us who are new to this meeting and to this group, it will be super helpful if you could help us or point us to the right direction of where exactly all those documents can be found. I spent some time on trying to follow the links on the original gang scheduling cap, and I'm familiar with some of the docs that you guys already posted and docs that Eric and John posted, but I'm not sure if I found all of them or some of them. We'll be happy to review and comment wherever we can. But if you can help us with like finding them, then that will be very helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. And like from my side, like I think there were a bunch of discussions that we had internally in Google around that topic, and I think we created like historically many of those, or most of these are already obsolete or like translated to public ones and so on. But we created a lot of stuff internally. I think I'm actually trying to change the direction a little bit internally to go to the upstream and like have those early discussions like in open more, and instead of like what we did with, for example, with gang scheduling, where we came like we've had like pretty concrete proposal, which sure we accepted a bunch of feedback, and I think like including like you, all of you, like earlier in the discussions is what we should try. And this is also what I was trying to do with workload aware preemption. It's not that like it's fully baked proposal that I only want like review on. It's still I want like your suggestions and like comments.
For the hierarchical part, especially in terms of hierarchical gang scheduling, it would be helpful to be involved. Like for example, I guess in like Grove plus Chi, we have hierarchical already, but I just want to make sure that where we're trying to move to be able to support upstream scheduler as well. So it would be very helpful to ensure that it's like, okay, in the way that the hierarchical gang scheduling is enabled, we don't miss something where it's like, oh, we're not able to like say that I want this multi-node unit to have a min count, but then it's also gang scheduled. And then I want these other ones to be gang scheduled as well, but I want to prioritize getting at least one of these first. So there's things like that I think that we've found necessary in like say like AI inference workloads, for example. So it would be like super useful to just be involved, I guess, earlier on and make sure that those are supported.
Right. So it's great to hear. Like your experience might be super valuable. I would say that the proposals that we had so far, they were many times focusing on some aspects of the overall problem. I was always missing the description, the approach, and I have never had time to write it down or even think more extensively because everyone has a lot of other things to do. But what I'm really missing for now is some description how that fits into the scheduling framework. And because we need to answer like pretty important questions. How to decompose this algorithm to consider plugins. How much it should be on the plugin side, how much of the generic algorithm should be in the framework, where the topology description translates to the scheduler concepts. So these are still unclear. We will try to come up with a doc as soon as possible. At the same time, if you have any thoughts, you are free to share them in the form of a doc or discuss at the next session.
Sure. Yeah. Like I guess we've been thinking about it from the AI workload perspective for quite a while. So there's definitely requirements there in terms of how do you handle multi-node cases and also say like disaggregated cases, all these things they come up. So I think all the NVIDIA people on the call would be happy to be involved in how to break it down.
Sounds super interesting. I'm looking forward. Roman?
Going back to Roman and Rohan point for the organizing stuff, if we can, because I don't have access, I would love to help here, but I didn't have access for that. But if you can update the description for the gang scheduler and the workload API or the workload aware with the final documentations we had in Google Doc, so we can just bend them to the description. That would be amazing for anyone who would like to know the final, like the final discussion or whatever we had by the end of it. And the second thing, if please, if we have any new proposal or any new enhancement or cap, if we can just send it to the SIG scheduling channel so we can get get notification or be aware of, because I didn't know about the topology preemption until like in the meeting. So that would be amazing.
The doc is fresh. It's from Friday, but okay. So what you are suggesting is to send all the documents to SIG scheduling.
The new caps. If we have new caps, just open like a PR open for draft or for review, it would be amazing if we have like a separate thread.
Okay.
SIG scheduling, so we can follow. And the second thing, and the first thing I asked for is updating the description for the workload aware and for the gang scheduler and for the topology as well with the latest document, Google Doc link.
But I'm not sure which exactly description you mean.
The issue description, the GitHub issue description.
GitHub issue. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
I'm not sure if we have a permission as well, like because someone else is like the author of the issue, so maybe we have
But
to just ask
I
the.
can probably update any issue, but I think that's
and
Okay.
we
So-
also can update issues as
Oh,
they
really?
need. Yes.
Okay, that's awesome.
So that we will figure out, but like I think for anything that has already a cap, like and I'm in particular talking about like workload API and gang scheduling, I think we should treat basically the cap as a source of truth. Like any of the like I think we would I would personally say it's a little bit of waste of time about like to update all the docs that were like actually influencing the cap. I think like for anything that already has a cap, like we should treat cap as a source of truth. I think it's a valid comment for like the anything that doesn't yet have a cap. So like topology aware scheduling and all those things. But for things that has caps, I would just look at caps basically.
So is the cap the place to have discussions? I guess like, for example, like with topology or scheduler, sure, even if you come up with on the back end how the scheduler says these are my topology labels and this is how I'm going to schedule it, there's still an open problem of how do you provide those hints. I guess at like say the LWS level. Like in Grove, we have our own solution for that. But like these kinds of discussions, where do you have them?
No, I think that like having docs is like super helpful, and like we probably in many cases start with docs, right? So like
Mhm. Or
for
like I guess
topology
for
or scheduling, I don't think we like a single source of truth yet because there isn't yet. Like, there isn't even like any formal proposal. I was
see.
more referring to things that already has and we are
Have
already
cap.
executing on. For those, like the source of truth is a cap.
So for hierarchical gang scheduling, should I be putting it on the gang scheduling cap? Any thoughts? Or is there like people I should reach out to like discuss with, or how does that?
For I think that like no, I wouldn't mix that into like gang scheduling. I think it's more like in the scope of topology or scheduling,
Oh,
and we don't yet have like
Yeah,
for,
maybe we should create an issue.
yeah,
we should
I
create
can
it.
make an issue. The hierarchical gang scheduling is different than the topology aware. It's more just that I guess when you have, say, one model instance that does the whole thing, that's like aggregated inference, it's fine to just gang schedule that, like one LWS replica.
Yep.
But when you've disaggregated and multi-node, you need the prefill and the decode gang scheduled, but at a lower level, you need each one of those also gang scheduled. So
Right.
if there's not a
Yep.
plan for that, I can make an issue about it, but I just want to know where to go to start the discussion on that. Or I assume you already have it.
No, we don't have it. Like I think it's like yeah, I think like having a separate issue for that would
Okay,
be
sounds good.
useful. Like I think we should try to avoid scope creep for like
Yeah, no, I don't expect
for
this for
existing things.
1.36. Okay.
Right. I think we will eventually have discussion about long term and discussion about short term. We definitely don't want the short term approach to be in the incompatible direction.
Yeah, that's my main thing I want to make sure is that it's made in a way that can eventually have this added.
All right. Yeah. So the
Maybe
time
that's
is
single clarifying, but if you I think that the use case you mentioned of like AWS and like this kind of thing, I think that is something that we thought about and we believe it's doable. But if you in any of the proposals, not just this one, but if any of the things like you see something that you are afraid that will not be compatible or future like forward compatible things that you eventually want to see, like that's definitely like, please flag it like for those proposals, right? If you think that it is purely additive, let's create an additional issue. But if you think that it will, like, we are effectively putting ourselves into a corner somewhere, let's flag this out like as soon as possible.
Sure. Yeah. I'll make an issue and then we can start discussion from that, I guess.
Yes.
So we are running out of time, and I would like to make sure the remaining two, like supporting barcode API in controllers and resource nomination into that, those are like basically not on our table, right? I mean, it's not SIG scheduling, but we just support someone else to implement those. Am I right?
Yeah. Well, I think Heba is involved heavily in the
Oh yeah.
workload API in controllers. Heba, can you comment? I haven't like replied to your chat yesterday.
I spent the last week just trying to see how we can integrate the workload API with other true workloads like jobs and LWS and JobSet and other controllers. I put my thoughts in a document and started just to share with some individuals to get early feedback, but happy to share it in the SIG scheduling as well. So from SIG scheduling, I think we need at least to agree on the way that the integration will happen, and then the implementation should happen, like in different places, either in sub projects like LWS or JobSet, or in SIG apps, because it's mainly controllers. But from my perspective, we might need some discussion from scheduling perspective to make sure that this integration will happen smoothly.
Okay. Do you want to be listed as an owner of this integration?
Yeah, I would be happy to pick this up.
Okay, great. So the last one is resource nomination. There is a proposal. I will actually create follow-up slides in this document that should link like the existing documents, because in this case we already also have a proposal. So I think it's I will send it to SIG scheduling and also probably use this presentation as a source of for links and for additional context and information. So there is already a proposal how we should approach the problem of races with kubelet. The races with kubelet is something that currently it's not a big issue. Currently, I mean, when we consider pod by pod scheduling, whenever the conflict, any sort of conflict appears, we do rescheduling of a pod. It will become a bigger problem when we have workload scheduling. We don't want to break workload placements. That's why this problem becomes more prominent. So I will send the link to the document. Feel free to jump into this discussion.
I would just add to what Kenzei was referring to. I think in this particular proposal, the resource nomination in kubelet, there's like significant bit that are actually like scheduler oriented. So like scheduler will be like the protocol between scheduler and kubelet will be different. So there will be non-trivial changes on the scheduler side itself, at least conceptually. So
Okay.
so it's not only supporting like other SIGs as in the previous item. It like we should be heavily involved in that. We as a SIG.
Okay, I thought it's okay. I'll take a look.
So
Yeah,
I agree that like the bigger changes are on the node side, but like the changes on the scheduler side are also like
non-trivial.
non-problematic, I would say.
Okay. All right, gotcha.
Right, and I think that
yeah. Any last comment,
I
Dominic?
yeah, I think that's all from what I wanted to say about the plan.
So I have one more comment. I think that the way the list is structured, so the order actually, I think it represents the priorities here, at least like my personal priorities. So like I agree that there is a lot of stuff. So like if we ever realize that we can't like fit all of those, I think that this list like should be treated as well. We should discuss whether we agree on this stack rank of like priorities, but like that was the idea here on this list.
Right. Yeah, I basically agree with that.
Yeah, and maybe last comment. Also, the number of items that we have here is super challenging. We will try to debate together about those. Many people asks for contribution. I think this is great. We need to think how to onboard, share the knowledge. So if you have any ideas, we definitely need more reviewers and long-term commitments to the project, because even the onboarding tasks, the number of them is limited. On the Google side, there is growing investment into this area as well. So we will have new people looking into those problems, and new people will be onboarding. So if you plan your long-term commitment to become a reviewer, to become a contributor, like stay on this meeting. I think that's the the main.
Yeah, that's the best way to follow up, follow the progress here, right? What we are doing.
So thank you everyone for
Right.
that.
Thanks everyone. We are running out of time, so let's wrap up. So have a nice day. See you in 2 weeks. Maybe we are going to skip the next anyway, but yeah, we'll see. Have a great day, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.